Hello, welcome Rebels. My name is Ashley. I am so excited that you are joining me today for our mini yin, or what I like to call a yinny session. Just a few things that you may need. Comfortable clothes are always a great option, just things that you can move freely in. A mat or a blanket or a towel possibly. If you're in a place where it's a little bit warmer and the sun is shining, I always encourage you to go outside. A blanket or a towel just to help have a little bit of elevation and comfy coziness, and then also either blocks or books to use. So we'll begin sitting in a cross-legged position or any seat that works for us. And just take a moment and get any sort of wiggles or energy that's just floating within you or around you out as we approach study week. It's a good time to just really focus in on how we can take care of ourselves, even if it's just small breaks in the day. And the breath is always the best, easiest, and cheapest, because it's free, way to reset the body. So some of the things that I'll be offering today in our practice are things that you can do. Each of the sets of poses that we're doing, you can do in isolation, or you can do part of this flow, you can do all of this flow, to kind of break up all of your studying that you're doing this week. So the first thing that we'll do, and I find this to be one of the best ways to reset myself, whether I'm at home, at school, or just whatever sort of situation that I'm in where I just need to take a moment. I take 3 really big breaths in and out, and that just helps us get recentered and focused, because together as this Rebel community, we can do anything and be anything. So let's do this all together, Rebels. Placing the palms face down, or maybe the palms face up, whatever you need. Let's take a big breath in. Filling all the way up from the diaphragm, hold it for 1 moment, and then release. Just let it all go, let it melt. Maybe even we just forward fold and do a little shake, a little shimmy, just letting it go. Let's take 2 more just like that. Breathe in and release. Let it go. And then breathe in, really fill up. Biggest breath of the day, and then let it all go. Now, if you're in a place where maybe you can't be quite that dramatic, that's okay with your movements. Maybe you would bring in some of your friends and you can all do it together, some of your study mates. But know that you are here and that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Your grit and determination has brought you right here to this place. And that is the intention that I offer you as we start to move into our practice, is your determination. So focusing on the fact that you have made it through another semester, and that you have accomplished some really incredible things, and that is because of your determination. So as we begin to come into our regular steady breath, let's go ahead and get grounded in our mat, just feeling the space beneath us. Again, breathing in from that really low diaphragm as we draw the belly button in and up, recognizing that we are centered and we are determined. If we're using blocks for this first pose, as we continue to breathe in and up and out, we might choose to lay our forehead on the blocks, or we can always use the blocks to rest our hands on. So let's take a big breath in all together. Breathe in, lift those arms very slowly up to the sky. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, focusing in on the breath. That strong warrior, victorious breath. That breath that shows us we're determined. 2 more just like that. Breathe in. And then slowly begin to forward fold. Let it all go. Letting the spine round. And this is where we can let everything hang really, really heavy. We may choose to incorporate some blocks or books. Or if you're more comfortable, you can just let everything hang down super, super heavy. And just noticing maybe the backs of the legs are talking to you. Mine certainly are today. So notice what they're saying. And that's where maybe we just ease up a little bit, whether we have those blocks or not. Or books. And then taking those shoulders away from the ears, let everything melt as we continue that solid chain of breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Determined to focus on the breath. Shoulders melt away from the ears, letting the hands melt down, letting the forehead draw its way closer to the earth. And we breathe together. Together. You may choose to stay in this posture for the rest of the class. It is your choice how you choose to move during the rest of our time together. As long as you're breathing and you're focused on your here and your now, determined to stay in the present moment, determined to continue believing in yourself, as I believe in all of you. Everything else that I offer is just an option. One more big breath in. And sigh it out, release. Breathing in slowly, coming all the way up. Rolling those shoulders up and back. Any kind of free movement here as we come into our next posture. Taking the blocks in front of us, we may or may not need them for the next couple of poses, and beginning to come back to the long edge of the mat to rearrange the blanket, still keeping this blanket for this nice support as we move into that colder, slower time of the year. It's a nice time to bring in these cozy aspects. As we move into a deer pose, taking the knees over to the left, the soles of the feet, if you choose, you can place the sole of the left foot on top of the right thigh, or you can separate it a little bit more, and then just kind of adjusting to what feels good to us. And then as an option, if the hips feel super tight, you can place blocks underneath the knees to open up, or maybe you'd like that extra support for the hands. Sending the fingertips out in opposite directions, fingertips pointing towards the front of the mat, towards the back. Just kind of experiment with what feels best to us as we shimmy these shoulders back, taking a big breath in. Sigh it out. Aligning the hips, the heart and the head, gentle engagement of the core as we breathe in. Strengthening ourselves with our breath, finding our determination from the inside out, breathing in. Three more just like that. And then using the hands for support, the blocks for support, begin to slowly bring the soles of the feet to the front of the mat. Maybe do a little windshield wiper to release anything in those hips. And then gently letting the legs fall over to the right. Deciding if we need the blocks underneath the knees or blocks for the hands. All of these are choices and options for us as we sit up nice and tall, hips, heart, and head aligned, shimmying those shoulders a little bit. Big breath in and sigh it out. Letting everything melt down, getting grounded and rooted here. Feeling everything draw down, feeling the support of the earth, and continuing that heat from the inside out, reminding ourselves of our determination, our grit, how fantastic and hardworking we are, and recognizing that anything is possible as long as we stay focused on our intention, both on and off the mat. Three more breaths here. Gently bring the soles of the feet back to the center of the mat. You can use the blocks or place the hands behind us, whatever kind of support we need today. And just gently windshield wiper those knees back and forth. Everyone's doing a wonderful job. Just breathing and being here, taking this time for yourselves to reset, recharge, rediscover your determination. And then gently walk those hands up. Placing the blocks off to the side for a moment. Sending the legs out wide just to kind of reset. Doing a little bit of swaying back and forth. Bringing the left shoulder in. And then the right shoulder in. Just opening up a little bit more as we prepare for our next set of postures. Continuing to breathe and welcoming in any kind of movement that feels good here. 3 more breaths, just gently swaying back and forth, focusing in on the breath, on this present moment. And then gently come back to the center, taking a big breath in, really tucking the chin into the chest, letting everything hang heavy. Here, just let it all go. And then inhale, rise up nice and slow, 1 vertebrae at a time, reaching those fingers and hands all the way up. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, shoulders away from the ears, just releasing anything. And then exhale, sigh it out as we bring those hands back down to the earth. Slowly begin to bring the left foot close to the inner right thigh, pointing the knee towards the front of the mat, and then lifting that right leg. Gently place the right leg over the left, coming into a cow face. So this is where we can use a little block help for support if that feels good. If it feels awkward or uncomfortable, just let that block go. And then if you're thinking like, Ashley, this is just not working for me right now, you can also come into just a crisscross position. And then we'll place the other block in front of us, breathing in. Again, aligning everything, big breath in, sigh it out, and then slowly begin to walk forward, placing the hands on the blocks to elevate if that feels good, or we can place the hands down onto the earth, and then we'll take the fingertips and send the wrists around, tenting the fingers. Excellent wrist stretch, especially as we're doing a lot of studying and we don't always focus a whole lot on stretching the hands and the wrists. And we'll gently forward fold, leading with the chin as we breathe in and breathe out. Lots of things happening here. There might be a lot of different parts of the body talking to you. We won't be here for too long, just 3 more breaths. Let's do it together. Embrace the stretch. Embrace what's talking to you in your body right now. 1 more, we got this. And then let's slowly back off. Remove the block. Shake those wrists out. Maybe feel a really big release there. And then gently swing the right leg around. Left leg goes out. Right leg goes out. Back into that wide-legged forward fold. Just releasing, seeing what that hip is saying to us. We've got 1 more side. Maybe that side is the talker, maybe it's not. My right hip tends to talk a lot more than my left. And then let everything hang heavy, big breath in. Release, let go. Breathe in, come all the way up. Shimmy it out. And then sole of the right foot comes in, and that knee starts to begin to send its way, or we might need to direct it a little bit, towards the front of the mat. Remembering we can also just do a crisscross traditional style as well. And then that left knee comes over, remembering that each side is different, each day is different. What time of the day are you practicing? All of those things will have some sort of influence in your practice. Don't think about what you can or can't or compare. Just be here, be now, be with your breath. Let's breathe in. And then breathe out, walk those hands out. We're going to do that same sort of wrist stretch, but this time we'll send those fingertips out, away from each other. We can use 2 blocks to elevate, or we can just look at the block as a focal point and begin to walk those hands out. And we breathe. We got this. We are determined. We are strong. We are rebels. Two more. One more. Slowly walk the hands up. Ooh. Place that block off to the side. Wiggle the hands, the fingers, the wrists, release the legs, soles of the feet come down, and begin to just windshield wiper those hips back and forth. Lots of hip work today. Lots of wrist work, and as always, lots of breath work. And then let's begin to slowly send the shins down to the mat, coming into a little bit of a counter pose here as we elevate ourselves onto a block or books. You can also just elevate yourself onto a blanket or a towel. Let's sit back into a hero's pose. So this is also going to help us stretch some spots that maybe are sensitive or stiff from doing a lot of sitting and studying. We can sit on the heels, or we can take the legs out just a little bit so that the heels and the ankles don't have so much stress and pressure on them. Either way, we're getting a nice stretch through the top of the foot into the ankle, into the shins, and up into the knees as we roll the shoulders up and back. Palms face up, breathe in, sigh it out. 2 more just like that, all together, breathe in. Sigh it out. 1 more, breathe in. Sigh it out. And then slowly begin to walk those hands forward. We'll do 1 more wrist stretch. Breathe and tense the fingertips. So now we're stretching those fingertips a little bit, and then send them down. Lift the fingers up. Fingertips plant down. Lift the wrists up. Send them down. Also a great grounding posture. So anytime we can make connections with a surface and focus on what we're touching, what we're feeling, that's bringing us back here to the present moment. 2 more just like that. Lift the fingers up. And then slowly press down and lift the wrists up. 1 more. Fingers up. Maybe wiggle them a little bit. And then wrists up. All the hands, both hands come down. Big breath in. Release. And then slowly walk the hands back up. Shimmy everything out. Walk the hands back forward, lift those hips up, place the block off to the side, coming into a tabletop position, and doing just a few little twists here, giving our seat a break. We've been on our seat quite a lot. And then gently looking forward in the front of the mat, big breath in. Release, sigh it out. And then as we breathe in, let's elevate the hips just a little bit. Push that beautiful heart forward. Lift the chin up to the sky. Cow pose. Invite any little movement, swaying back and forth, side to side. Nice elongation of the spine. And then exhale, tuck the chin into the chest, round. Begin to rock back and forth a little bit. Giving that neck some extra attention. We've been doing a lot of sitting postures today. Just loosening anything up that may have gotten a little tight. And then inhale back up through cow, swaying back and forth. Only coming to a point that works for us today in our own unique and amazing bodies. And then slowly begin to round the spine, rocking back and forth. And then gently coming back to that tabletop, big breath in. And release. Bringing the big toes to touch. We can keep the knees together or send them out wide, still using that blanket or towel for support. And then we'll gently begin to send those hips back. This is where we can also use a block, a book. We can also use an extra rolled up towel. And then begin to walk the hands out, letting the forehead melt down. Breathe in, release. Over to the right, left hand on top of right for a little child's pose twist. Revisiting our intention, staying determined and strong, staying present with the breath. Begin to walk the hands over to the left hand slides over to the left, right hand comes on top, then we breathe. Getting a nice side stretch, low back release. And then walk the hands back to their respective corners. Right hand goes to right corner, left hand stays in left corner. Gently rock the head back and forth, releasing anything in the neck. And then coming to a place of stillness, inhale, slowly come forward, doing a counter stretch here. Moving into a seal pose. So fingertips out to the corners of the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Breathe and lift up. And then breathe out, let it all go. Make contact with the mat. Breathe and lift up. Bending the elbows, only come to a point that works for us. And then exhale, let it go. Option in this back bend to also do a sphinx, if that feels better for us. Whatever sort of heart opener and little back bend you would like to do, we'll do one more breathe and lift up. And then breathe out, let it all go. Gently bring the arms together in a pillow. lifting the shins off the mat to release, and windshield wiper those legs, just releasing the hips, anything in the hips. Big breath in, big breath out. 2 more breaths in and release. In and release. Sending the feet down. We can stay in this reverse savasana if we would like for today. You may also choose to roll over onto the back. You can lay on the blanket or snuggle up with the blanket. Coming into any final resting posture that works for you. Legs up the wall is also a nice option. Reconnect with that strong breath, that determined, victorious breath. You may choose to stay in your final resting posture for as long as you would like. But if you need to go about your day, begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, letting the chin tip from one side to the other. Noticing what the neck is telling you. The neck likes to talk. And then sending the arms up overhead. Big stretch. Hugging all that goodness in, all that determination in. And then letting yourself roll over to the right or left, using the arm as a pillow. Big breath in and release. 3 breaths in, breathing in gratitude. Breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love. Breathing out love. Breathing in peace. Breathing out peace. Slowly rising up to a seated position. Taking a big breath in all together. And a big breath out. Rebels, the light in me honors, respects, and appreciates the light in you. Thank you so much. Continue to stay on your path of determination. And take care. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are ever on campus, I would love to practice with you in person at the Student Recreation and Wellness Center. I teach every Thursday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. You can also follow me on Instagram at Neebs Does Yoga for special events on and off campus. And remember, Rebels, you've got this. Stay determined, stay strong, and take care of yourselves.